I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Roach. Good evening. Welcome, everyone, to Horizon Elementary. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Penn-Harris-Madison School Trustees on Monday, October 9th, 2023. Our first item of business is the adoption of the agenda. Do board members have any additions or changes to the agenda for Monday, October 9th to the regular board meeting?
Yes.
All right, Matt?
Yes, I would like to add a discussion of how we handle social media posts from parents, students, and employees to the agenda tonight, specifically just a discussion. Thank you.
Do I have a second?
I second.
So Jeff, help me out here. I'm filling in for Mr. Riley. We take a vote.
Take a vote.
And Matt, just be clear one more time.
Yes.
A discussion on,
A discussion on how we handle social media posts from parents, students, and employees, specifically just a discussion, no action taken from adding this to the agenda tonight. Thank you.
and a discussion just amongst us.
Yes.
All right, with that, we've got a second. All those in favor of a discussion on social media posts for parents, students, and faculty?
Yes, all parts of the triangle.
All parts of the triangle. All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed vote nay.
Nay.
Nay. So we have a 3-3. Right?
Roll call.
Roll call vote?
Yeah, roll call, because I don't know if everybody voted.
I think.
I heard an aye and aye. And I'm assuming Matt was an aye.
Yes.
Okay. And then
Nay. Nay.
nay.
Okay.
So 3 nays,
Pass.
3 ayes.
Pass.
Doesn't pass?
Nope.
Okay. But Matt, I'm with you on that. Maybe we can prepare a little bit next time. So that's something we can discuss. And Dr. Thacker, as we sit down to build the next agenda, that's something and maybe give the public a little more heads up too, where they can come and speak on it.
Well, it was just a discussion tonight, so there wouldn't have been any action taken. It's just like last Wednesday morning, we had a presentation on the new teachers' contracts, open it up, and then gives the opportunity for the public to comment here tonight. So similar thing as that, just was hoping we could get that passed here tonight. Apparently we couldn't.
I'm all for talking about social media, especially with young students. Just maybe a heads up next time we can get that added. All right, back to the board agenda. Do I have a second for the 2023 October 9th?
Oh, I had one other item I'd like to add, potentially.
Okay,
I would like to add a discussion on official communications to parents, employers. What are the standards from the board/administration on this? Just a discussion again.
That discussion of
Cool.
what? Could you repeat that?
Yes, sorry, it's a little awkward tonight with the mic. A discussion on what are the standards in regards to official communications PHM leadership has with parents, employers.
Matt, do you expect it to be tonight or put on the next agenda?
I'm asking to be put on tonight for discussion from the board about this. So no action taken, just like my previous motion, again, specifically just a discussion. Similar to earlier this summer, I think it was the May board meeting when I asked us to put on for discussion, all board meetings be live streamed. We did that, we discussed it. Next board meeting, it was on the consent agenda and it passed. And that's the reason why this board meeting is live streamed for our community members that couldn't make it tonight for whatever reason, maybe putting their kid to bed, they can watch it online. Similar to that, just trying to mimic that here tonight with both of these motions. Thank you.
okay, so you want to have a discussion on communication from administration to parents.
No. PHM leadership, whether that's school administration or us fellow board members, to parents, employers, what are the standards on when and if or we ever should communicate to parents, employers? Just a discussion about that.
All right,
Board member Garrett had seconded that, I believe.
Uh,
Might have to do it again.
hold on.
Yep.
Do I have a second for communication for leadership, administration, and school board to parents, basically the triangle in the community? We have a second. All right, all those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed vote nay. Nay.
Aye.
Is that a nay or?
Nay.
So that also fails by a vote of 4-2. Matt, again, I commend you for bringing up topics that are relevant. I'll write that down. I'd like to work with you here in the next weeks to get it on the agenda. Maybe we can have more of a structure where we can do some research and pick your brain on what you're looking for there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, with that said, we will move on to the motion to adopt the agenda for Monday, October 9th, 2023, regular board meeting as presented.
I so move.
Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Those opposed vote nay. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Do board members have any additions or changes to the minutes from the September 11th, 2023 executive session and regular board meeting? Does administration?
Administration has no changes.
If not, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the September 11th executive session and regular board meeting as presented?
I second.
All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Those opposed vote nay. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Next up is superintendent recognitions and announcements. Dr. Thacker, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Vice President McCullough and Board of Trustees. Welcome, everyone. It's great to be at Horizon. How are you students tonight? You're amazing. It's always fun to come here and see all the passion that you have for learning. You're one of the top school districts in the state of Indiana. We're very, very excited to be here. And now I'm going to introduce and welcome our student board ambassador from Penn High School, Ashley Mead.
Good evening, Dr. Thacker, Vice President McCullough, and members of the board. My name is Ashley Mead, and I'm here to present some announcements highlighting the athletic and academic achievements at Penn High School, as well as some Kingsman Court announcements. In athletic news, this past Saturday, the boys varsity soccer team clutched the win against LaPorte 2-1, earning them a spot in the sectional championships. I'd like to offer a special congratulations to Carter Utz, who scored 2 of these goals. Additionally, I'd like to recognize the girls volleyball team for remaining undefeated in the Northern Indiana Conference. In their last game against New Prairie, I'd like to congratulate Shannon Rudge, who scored 12 kills and 3 aces. Finally, I'd also like to congratulate the girls soccer team on earning the 17th sectional championship title, maintaining the most sectional championships won by any competing school in Indiana. I'd like to offer a special congratulations to Malaika Waithaka for scoring in the last minute of the game, ensuring a Kingsman win 2-1 against St. Joe. In academic news, this upcoming Wednesday, all sophomores and juniors will be taking the PSAT at Penn. As they prepare for this test, I'd like to offer some encouragement to the students and wish them luck as they take this step to further their education. In Kingsman Court news, the winners of the September Find Your Rhythm competition have been announced and rewarded for their creative door decorating designs. Thank you to all of our teachers and students who participated and showed their school spirit. Additionally, this past September, we were recently visited by representatives from Riley Children's Foundation, where Penn was officially recognized as a Red Wagon sponsor for last year's Turkey Legs competition, earning them a red wagon and a special license plate commemorating this achievement. As we prepare for the October Find Your Rhythm competition and this upcoming November Turkey Legs fundraiser, we remember our school's passion for the surrounding community and are motivated by our fellow Kingsmen to keep raising the bar and setting new standards for what it means to be a member of PHM. I would also like to take this opportunity to present Dr. Thacker, as well as President Riley, even though he is absent, a gift from Penn's Environmental Awareness Club. This student-led group raised money it earned from numerous stadium cleanups at Everise Free Field and was able to order 2 custom reusable water bottles, each engraved with PHM's logo and the message "Sustaining Excellence," showcasing their appreciation for everyone within the district who work to create a more sustainable, greener PHM community, as well as show off their Penn pride. Though President Riley may not be here today at today's meeting, I wish him a healthy recovery and hope to give him these gifts soon. Thank you, and that is all I have for you tonight.
Thank you, Ashley. I think since you last spoke, I've counted 8 sports trophies and about a half a dozen academic trophies. So, Aaron, I look forward to the budget on expanding our trophy cases. That's truly amazing, and good luck to all the student athletes this week in regionals and sectionals. Thanks again, Ashley. On to our next item, Dr. Thacker.
Thank you, Vice President McCullough and Board of Trustees. It's such a great evening today. It's wonderful to be at Horizon. We're going to celebrate a number of things. I'd like to celebrate some awards that have been received at the state level. On Wednesday, September 13th, Penn-Harris-Madison representatives were recognized by the Indiana Association of School Psychologists. PHM Board of School Trustees, Secretary Claire Roach, and PHM lead psychologist Mike Manis were recognized for the collaboration and partnership of working with the association and Indiana Medicaid to clarify and strengthen the role of school psychologists in the Medicaid program. To express the association's gratitude, IASP presented Trustee Roach with Friend of School Psychology, which I'm going to reenact in a moment, and Mike Manis as School Psychologist of the Year. So both Ms. Roach and Mr. Manis partnered with the IASP and Representative Michael Karakoff on House Bill 1205 that was enacted into Indiana Code 12-15-1-16, the 2023 spring legislative session, which adds a school psychologist as a qualified provider for purposes of the Medicaid program and allows school corporations to obtain Medicaid reimbursement for specified services. The awards were presented to Mrs. Roach and Mr. Manis during the annual meeting of the ISP on Wednesday, September 13th in Bloomington. So tonight, I'm proud to recognize both these people. Let's walk up here and you can come with me. Vice President McCullough.
I can't step in for Mr. Riley. I'm sorry. I don't have the right makeup on today. But how about a round of applause for both these people? Congratulations, Secretary Ms. Roach. Mike, couldn't be more proud. I can't wait for the National Psychology of the Year. I hope you're in the running for that. I've had some wonderful conversations with you since my time on the board, and you are truly a gift to our community. Thank you. All right, on to our next recognition item for the evening, Dr. Thacker.
Okay, this is the spotlight on this fabulous school. So tonight, we are delighted to be here, and we're going to have Principal Amy Fedorsen highlight the ways the teachers are focusing on student engagement. So she's going to be talking about experiences taking place in this magnificent school. And you'll look out here and see these amazing fourth graders sharing inventions they've created that address a problem in their lives. So we look forward to hearing about that. So thank you, Mrs. Fedorsen.
Well, good evening, Dr. Thacker, Vice President McCullough, and members of the board. Welcome to Horizon. We are very excited to have you here with us tonight to see some of the very engaging learning opportunities our students are participating in. Our teachers work very hard to make learning meaningful and relevant to our students because we believe that in order for learning to occur, students must understand why they must learn what we are asking them to. Our goal is for every student to reach their fullest learning potential. And teachers can answer that why by engaging students in activities that connect the skills students need to learn with their interests and their lives. And you will see the outcome of some of that, those engagements tonight. But before I introduce the fourth graders in the spotlight, I would like to share a glimpse into a day of learning at Horizon.
Horizon Elementary, where students engage with learning. Student engagement is the curiosity, interest, optimism, and passion that students show when they are learning. Students in pre-K are engaging with chalk, practicing writing their names and letters outside. Students in kindergarten are engaging tactily by writing letters and sight words in shaving cream. Students in first grade are engaging their creative talents to make number comparison monsters. Hidden in each of these pictures, you will find 2 numbers and a comparison symbol. The second grade students are engaging with the life cycle of butterflies. Students look forward to seeing the changes the butterflies experience every day. The day the butterflies are released in the environmental lab is truly a day of celebration. Third graders engage in hands-on team building activities. They save Fred the gummy worm by building and designing towers. Fourth grade is increasing engagement in reading for fun. Teachers are dressed in aprons and transform their classrooms into a diner where students taste or preview different books. Fifth grade is engaging in learning with Flocabulary, where every lesson is an opportunity to bring the curriculum to life and reinforce core knowledge and skills. Students in the STEAM lab are engaging with science, technology, the arts, and mathematics while increasing student inquiry and critical thinking. In PE, our students are engaging with hands-on football stations, incorporating partners, and running and throwing on the field. In music, students are always engaging in movement, choreography, singing, and expression. Look to the horizon, spread your wings, and fly.
Now I'd like to introduce a member of the fourth grade team, Ms. Lene Martins.
Invention Convention is a national competition hosted each year by the Henry Ford Foundation. invention convention aligns strongly with Indiana's new science standards. Included in these standards is the engineering design process. Students were challenged to follow the engineering design process to define a problem and invent a way to create a new or improved product to solve that problem. The steps that they were encouraged to follow in the engineering design process were to asking questions, not only of themselves, but of their family members and those in the community to determine the problem that they thought they could solve. Then they were asked to imagine, research, brainstorm possible solutions to that problem. Then they had to plan their solution out, make diagrams, figure out how they were going to accomplish this. Then they created a prototype out of available materials, designing, figuring out how they could best create it themselves. Then they tested and improved their design, seeing if it worked, what modifications would make it better, and a better solution for their problem. And then they shared those solutions with their classmates and today with the rest of the school and with parents that came to visually see all of their projects that they had done. And then now tonight with you. We are so proud of Horizon's fourth grade inventors. Each fourth grade class has chosen a representative to be here tonight. We have 5 students who are going to share their invention with you Shark Tank style. They prepared a 1-minute pitch to try to persuade you to invest in their product idea. You'll be given a paddle that you will turn to either I'm in or I'm out at the end of each presentation. If you would like to make a brief comment or ask a quick question after they are done, you may. Are you ready to enter the Shark Tank?
Yes.
Hello, members of the school board. My name is Cade Berian, and I'm here to introduce you to the Pet Pack. Raise your hand if you have a dog or know someone who has a dog. Then you'll know that taking care of dogs is hard, especially when it's raining outside and they need a walk. Make it easy with the Pet Pack. Bryson here is currently wearing my design. The Pet Pack is a state-of-the-art hands-free system that meets all of your pet owner needs. Includes room for storing treats, bags, water, and everything you could need as a pet owner. Plus, there's a leash attached to the side so you can walk your dog hands-free. But wait, there's more. There's an umbrella so you can stay dry in the rain while taking your dog for a walk. The Pet Pack is the perfect solution for all pet owners. So, board members, are you in?
I have a question. So I want to make sure I'm hearing you right. You're saying the Pet Pack,
Yes.
right? I want to invite you to think about creating the Penn Pack, because I have 2 regional soccer games to go to this week, and I want that backpack without the leash and the dog. Maybe I want a Kingsman that I can pull around. Do you think you could adapt it for the sidelines? I bet Mr. McCullough would get one too for the football stadium.
I think I could.
Love it. I'm in.
Great job.
Hello, board members. Thank you for coming. My name is Sloan Banis, and have you ever had to make a cake and you had to wait a long time for it to cool? Well, I have a solution for that. Let me introduce you to Frost It Now. With this invention, you can frost your cake in no time and cool it. With my invention, you can cool it very easily, and it won't take time at all. It takes a long time. It does not take time at all. You can set it on your stove, or instead of waiting and setting it on your stove or your counter, or putting it in the fridge to wait it to cool, you can just set it on your counter and bake your cake in here and put it in here. Are you in?
And I want to be part of the sampling team too, if I invest. These kids are all Venmo these days.
Thank you for being so prepared.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for coming. My name's Kirsten McCavan. Aren't you sick of taking the exact same medicine? Well, I have a solution for that. The freezer reliever pain pops. And don't worry, parents, it's child-free. What happens if you just got your tonsils removed? Instead of taking that old medicine, I bet you want to take a pop sucker. Or what happens if you just got your tonsils? What happens if you got a fever? I bet you want to take a popsicle. Well, it'll be better. And what happens if you got a toddler? They're gonna throw a tantrum over the medicine, but I bet you if they give them a popsicle, I bet you they'll like it. So what do you say, sharks? Are you in?
No doubt. Brilliant.
I'd like to say I'm a school nurse, and I really like this idea a lot.
Thank you. Hi, my name's Emmett. Member of the school board, do you guys ever have a problem where you're at home and you want to cut yourself some fruit or like a watermelon? Well, I made this. It's called the Slice It Easy. And if you're ever worried about maybe when you're cutting it, you might cut your hand or you might cut it the wrong way. Well, I made this so it's a one-way cut right down the middle. You won't really need to have any worries about cutting yourself. And it can cut any really type of large foods you like. It has a juice catcher built into the side, has 3 pockets for all those sliced up pieces to go in. It has a built-in handle on the side, like maybe if you want to take it somewhere, if you maybe want to hang it up. So that's why I invented this Slice It Easy. What do you say? Are you in?
Oh, definitely.
Good evening. Good evening, board members. My name is Sophia Werner, and I invented the baby-proof phone case. Are you tired of your baby destroying your phone just because they want to watch a show? Have no fear, the TV is here. Phones all sizes can fit inside of the baby-proof phone case. It has an extra layer of protection because the inside is lined with foam. The plastic screen protector keeps the baby from being able to touch the phone. The baby-proof phone case has a stopper to prevent the phone from falling out. It can even stand up on its own. Sometimes I help watch a baby, and one time she threw her mom's phone off the bleachers and it shattered. If she had only had my baby-proof phone case, the phone would not have shattered. So what do you say, board members? Are you in?
I'm gonna need an adult version too.
Any questions?
Make an adult version for me.
And that concludes our presentation for tonight.
Mrs. Fedorsen, is that working? Is this working? Thank you so much for welcoming us tonight. And I just want to say one thing to these really brilliant fourth graders we have in front of us. I really wish that we had a lot of Penn coaches and sponsors here tonight, because I'm going to make a prediction. I think the future, based on that video and what we saw of Penn orchestra and band and choir, is strong. I think the Penn football team has some kids that are already training at Horizon to play for the Kingsmen. The robotics team, I think, has a future in front of them here at Horizon. And then most importantly, I'm going to put my plug in for one of the clubs at Penn. I think the DECA club at Penn is going to win international competition based on what I've seen here tonight. So all of you, when you get to Penn, when you get to be a high schooler, I really hope you look into the DECA club because it's a lot like this, but at the high school level, and you're going to be so ready. Thank you for sharing your awesome ideas with us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs.
Board members, any other comments or questions for Amy? Yeah, Amy. Great job. Thank you, Amy, for welcoming us this evening to Horizon. Jeff, you're going to have to get a patent attorney directed towards some of these kids. So that was pretty impressive. Yep. All right, before moving on, I do have one additional recognition item to share. Some of you in the community may already know that Dr. Thacker was recently recognized on Thursday, September 28th at the History Museum of South Bend's annual gala with Merle D. Blue Excellence in Humanities Award. The award honors the achievement of an outstanding educator who has contributed to the learning of history in the St. Joe River Valley. In notifying Dr. Thacker of this award, the History Museum noted that Dr. Thacker was named this year's recipient because of his longtime role of excellence and service to the community as a superintendent in facilitating the top quality education of countless students, coupled with your selfless volunteer service, has clearly made our community stronger and a better place to live, work, play, and continue to learn. The Merle D. Blue Excellence in Humanities Award is named in honor of Merle Blue, who for over 40 years enlightened students in the classroom on the importance of learning history. He shared his wisdom and enthusiasm for history through his involvement with the Northern Indiana Historical Society. On behalf of the board and administration, I'd like to say congratulations, Dr. Thacker, and well deserved on this outstanding award. Please tell the folks what the picture. Oh. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really honored. I'm truly honored and proud to receive this award. This picture represents the first high school in St. Joe County. And you can see what we've come from the first high school to the best high school in the history of St. Joe County, Penn High School. I'm truly honored. Merle Blue was a great educator, made great contributions. And so to receive something in the area of humanities is really, I'm very, very proud of that. So a big thank you to all of you.
Congratulations. And we were questioning when we saw the picture, if there's any history buffs in the room, what the first high school is called, because the picture doesn't, we assumed it's just St. Joe County High School, right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, congrats again, Dr. Thacker. Next up is the consent agenda. Dr. Thacker.
Thank you, Vice President McCullough and Board of Trustees. The administration recommends approval of the 17 items appearing on the consent agenda as presented. Appearing on the personnel report of the classified staff are the retirements of 4 employees. Leanne Kimmerling, guidance aide at Discovery Middle School, who retired effective October 2nd, 2023, following 22 years of service. Marcia Gillian, bus operator, who retired on September 29th, 2023, after 15 years of service. Michael Adams, elementary head custodian, who retired September 25th, 2023, following 12 years of service. Philip Hoffman, custodian at Penn High School, who will retire on November 30th, 2023, following 26 years of service. On behalf of the board administration, we wish each one of these employees the very best in their upcoming retirements.
Thank you, Dr. Thacker. Board members, do you have any questions regarding the October 9th, 2023 consent agenda? Hearing none, we do have one visitor who has requested to speak on item 6.08, which I believe is the Jostens. Bear with me. Yep, the approval of agreement with Jostens School Yearbook. Ashley Leader. Oh,
Yes.
you're quick. At regular meetings, the public is invited to address the board on this topic under the hearing of visitors. time limit of 3 minutes shall be enforced. Persons wishing to speak during this agenda item, it is requested that they state their name and address at the beginning of such comments. Individuals may speak only once during this section of the agenda. Personnel issues are not to be addressed. Please stay on topic, and the mic is yours.
Thank you. I'm sure if you have a student at Penn High School, you know maybe what I'm going to talk about, but we just got our yearbooks from last year. I don't know if that's a contract issue or whatever issue that is, but I would like a discussion on that. Having a senior, I know we all can sit here and go back to our yearbooks when we pull them out and see how we got to get together and write little notes to each other. It's a memory that all of our students should have. I mean, my kids have lost many memories at Penn. I didn't have a kindergarten graduation. Our seniors don't dress up nice for their senior pictures like a lot of other seniors around the country do. And now our seniors from last year weren't even able to write in the yearbooks. They're halfway through their freshman year of college and they just now got their yearbook from last year. I know when I was a senior, what we did as a senior and our yearbook staff did, we always got our yearbook before we graduated. And if there was any other pages left, we got sent in the mail extra pages. So at least we had our yearbook, and it was just a little paperback book to kind of go along with our yearbook. So maybe we think along those lines so our seniors, especially our seniors, aren't losing those memories of actually getting their yearbook at the end of the school year. And they're not cheap. So, I mean, my daughter didn't even care that she got it from last year. It was almost $100. So along the same lines, I wanted to bring up, it just saves me an email. I wasn't too happy with Perks of Being a Kingsman in reference to a book that is actually on multiple years, 2021, 2022, and 2023, banned books or controversial books in reference to Perks of Being a Wallflower. I thought it was very offensive, mainly because of all the things that it talked about within the books. I don't know why that was part of the yearbook, but the book actually has a lot to do. There's sexual abuse, there's rape, there's male sex with a minor, there's abortion, masturbation, the list goes on and on. What's in this book. I've actually submitted this book for review, and again, I've submitted multiple books for review and still have not heard on it, and I've done it multiple times. So just keeping track of that. And Brian, I know that we've spoken about this with book reviews, so and I haven't sent any emails on it, but I was going to take this opportunity to say how offensive it was that we actually named our yearbook, our late yearbook, after a book that's considered so controversial. Thanks.
Thank you, Ashley. Dr. Linsky, I see you taking notes. Does this fall under your umbrella, your book? Does
Sure, I'm happy to have a conversation with people at high school.
That is concerning that they're getting their yearbooks in October, if that's the case. So if we could just maybe get back to Ashley and have a general statement for any other parents in the public that are same concerns, and who chooses. I am assuming they still have a yearbook committee. I'm going way back. They ultimately in charge of what's the content. So. All right, moving along. Do I have a motion to approve the October 9th, 2023 consent agenda as presented by Dr. Thacker?
I so move.
Second?
I second.
All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Those opposed vote nay. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. We will now move on to our instruction report item for the evening. Dr. Thacker, the mic is yours again.
Thank you, Vice President McCullough and Board of Trustees. We have a very exciting presentation that's going to be celebrating the success of our Title I schools. And the report you're about to hear is an example of why we're leaders in innovation. So tonight, Dr. Heather Short is going to introduce this item for us. Dr. Short.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Thacker, Vice President McCullough, and members of the board. I am very excited to welcome several people to share with us this evening. We have Mr. Ryan Towner here with us. He is our Director of Literacy and Title I. We have Mrs. Betsy Allwine with us, who is our dyslexia specialist, and two outstanding kindergarten teachers, Mrs. Madison Chestnut, Miss Madison Chestnut, and Mrs. Julie Madison, who are all here going to speak specifically about a training program and a professional development opportunity that several people are taking advantage of this year. So, Mr. Towner.
Thank you,
welcome.
Dr. Short and Dr. Thacker, Vice President McCullough, and Board Trustees. Thanks so much for having us this evening to share with you about letters. We could, oh, thank you. So let me just share with you kind of the overview of what letters is. It was created by Dr. Louisa Motes and Dr. Carol Tolman, two legends in reading research. Really, this is a very robust training. It's for instructors of reading and spelling. Particularly what we're doing with Volume 1 with our targeted group of kindergarten teachers, we see as, it's an immediate impact for a kindergarten classroom, which was our reason for starting there. We keep in mind as well that our current kindergartners, they are, when Dr. Jenner shares her goal of 95% passing iRead by 2027, that is our current kindergartners. They'll take iRead in 2027. So we're being very intentional with this. When we talk about the content of the program, it really is the why. It's the deep research behind teaching reading. It's deep knowledge. And so it's not a curricular product. It's not a quote unquote a program that you buy, but it really is an investment in the teacher, their understanding of reading and how an individual, how a student learns to read, and it helps them to maximize the curriculum and their instructional, program, pedagogy, and so on. We oftentimes say that reading is actually rocket science. It is incredibly complex. We know that for teachers, a great teacher of reading, it's incredible knowledge gained over years of experience. And so we see this as a great investment for our teachers. It certainly builds on the undergraduate program that they attended. And I think it's going to help us just reach new heights. So sharing more this evening, Mrs. Allwine, Betsy Allwine, she's our dyslexia specialist. And just does a fabulous job for us. Dr. Short had great foresight to last year have Betsy go through the program with letters to be a certified facilitator. So that way that Miss Allwine, she is the instructor, if you will, for our teachers. It is not like an outsourced group. So we have a lot of control gained through that, and she just does a fabulous job. So she's going to share some particulars of our implementation. And then, as Dr. Short said, we have two just outstanding kindergarten teachers with us who they'll share about how it's going in their classroom, their implementations, and kind of the immediate takeaways as they're about a month into the program.
Thank you, Mr. Towner. So we are so excited to be able to offer this to our teachers. Right now, we have offered it to our very first cohort of our Title I kindergarten teachers. Next year, we hope to scoop in first grade teachers, and then the year after that, our second grade teachers. So I am currently PHM's local facilitator, and we're hoping to expand that role to support this very valid and needed training for our teachers to support the very hard work that they are doing in supporting our very youngest of readers to make them robust throughout their entire academic careers. So the setup of what the teachers are having to go through is that they have an online portal as well as a manual of all of the content that they will go through. And each one of the online sessions goes through and breaks apart beautifully very complex and meaty parts of how do students learn how to read? What is the brain doing? What are different components of linguistics that I know our speech language pathologists are just cheering that we're going to be receiving this information and we might not have gotten during our undergrad. And so I am very excited to have these ladies here share with you, but know that they are also supported through one-on-one coaching with me, working in groups. We will pull together at the end of one of our units to go over everything that they've learned about in a 6-hour session. They get to listen to me talk about reading stuff. I know you're so excited, aren't you? And just be able to continue to support them throughout the year as they work through this content. So we're very excited. And with that, I don't know who's going next. Is it you? Yay!
All right. Hi, I'm Madison. So some things that I've learned from letters, the biggest takeaway I've had so far, I know I'm only like 6 weeks into the program, but the first one was I'm diving deep into like oral language development and how it is the absolute foundation of early literacy. Something that I didn't even realize is that students as young as 10 months old start developing this foundation of oral language development, and they listen to their parents speak phonemes, which are sounds, And if they come to us lacking that oral language development, we are here to like fill in those gaps for them. And so it's just really played a role in my mind as, wow, like our job as kindergarten teachers is super duper important to lay that foundation if they already don't have it and support it in ways that will create better success for their reading and writing. Also, what I found very affirming is that it's currently proving that what PHM is doing for laying that early foundation of literacy is wonderful. We have Heggerty, which develops our phonemic awareness, Foundations developing that orthographic mapping, letter-to-letter correspondence, Geodes, which is another program that we use. It involves everything between creating that phonetic knowledge or kind of going back on that phonetic knowledge and then building that stronger vocabulary and going back on that content, putting that all together. Those are things that we are doing already. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing that. That's great. So it's kind of affirming that in the back of my mind. Something else, it's creating a stronger bond between my grade level team and I. My grade level team and I, we are all different ages. And so sometimes it's kind of hard to form that bond with someone that's way older than you. But this has created such a tight-knit bond. We all come to school and we're like, okay, so did you do your letters over the weekend? What'd you learn? What are you going to apply this week in your classroom? Are you mind blown? Because I'm mind blown. Like I'm finding things that I was doing in my classroom like 2 years ago. Maybe I shouldn't have been doing those. But now I know the difference in how to create and foster that success for my students. So it's been awesome to collaborate with my teammates. And then this week, Betsy gets to come to Moran and kind of help us out and check in on us and hopefully guide us to success in our first unit test coming up in the next couple of weeks. So that's exciting. All right, thank you.
Good evening, I'm Julie Madison. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Elm Road. And the letters takeaways that I have so far, Ryan talked about the why, and I think I have an understanding of why early literacy is so important, but I think I'm gaining a better understanding now of how that's done. And letters has really helped me dive deep into gaining this understanding of how to implement effective strategies. I'm a visual learner, and in our book, they have pictures of a child's brain as they're learning to read and what's happening before and after and how they're connecting these pathways. And I feel like in my classroom, I'm able to see these aha moments of these kids, and I'm kind of like, I bet there was just a connection made. We're building those pathways through that Foundations and Heggerty, like Madison talked about, working on those drills that we are practicing every day and how beneficial and it's just building that foundation for these kids to grow on. And I love that I'm able to be in this course while simultaneously being in the classroom. I can be reading my notes at night, going through my textbook, and the next day putting things into practice in my classroom. For example, as Madison talked about the importance of oral language. And in the course, it gave the suggestion of having 30-second informal conversations with students. So I implemented that the next day. And I was able to just squat down and talk to the kid at their level when they're coming in the morning, during transitions, at recess when I'm on duty, while we're walking to lunch, and just asking those open-ended questions, allowing the kids to converse with me back and forth in full sentences about a topic that they're interested in, just builds that oral language. And we know that that's such a foundation for continuing their reading, foundation for learning. And as a first-year teacher, thinking about signing up for letters when it was presented to us, my immediate reaction when Betsy presented it was absolutely not. I'm not adding anything else to my plate this year. But then I decided to go ahead and jump on board, and I have felt so supported. I call Betsy the #1 cheerleader award. She has just been awesome, coming alongside us, checking in on us, answering questions, talking through things that I'm not understanding, and also just having this cohort to go through with has allowed for collaboration of discussing things that maybe it's not clear, not quite grasping it, ideas, is this the right thing that I should be doing in my classroom? So I've felt very supported, and I'm just very grateful for the opportunity to be a part of the cohort, and just look forward to how it's going to continue to help better my instruction.
So we are very excited. You can tell we're just like bursting at the seams of all the learning that we're able to do and the impact that it's going to have on our students. Like I just cannot wait as we continue to move forward. I know what they get to learn coming up, and I'm here for it. It's just a very exciting time. So what questions do you have for us?
Yes.
I just want to tell you that I'm so happy that this is actually going to make it over. And my question is this, obviously these things are working great, our English speaking. Are we able to also translate what you're doing, English speaking things with the
Right, the acquiring of a new language and what does that look like when it comes to their reading? Absolutely. Letters is very intentional and focuses within the content on like Spanish is pretty heavily, but they also have resources in the back helping our teachers understand that different languages such as Spanish have maybe not as many phonemes as we do in the English language. So when they come to us and they are trying to read words, they may not have the sound in their own language to represent the sound that a particular letter does. And so it gives our teachers an understanding, hey, if you have a student who speaks this language, and there's a whole glossary of like every language under the sun, of being able to point out, okay, these are considerations that you can apply then in the classroom when working with this student. So it does a very intentional job of working with our E&L. Yeah. And we're able to partner then with our E&L teachers as well, which is wonderful.
I think that was a great point that you pointed out, Mr. Garrett. I think Oracy is definitively building Oracy is definitively going to help our emergent bilingual students succeed. So I just want to be crystal clear. You are not replacing Hegarty. You're not replacing Wilson Foundations. You're augmenting that.
It is allowing us to have the knowledge of understanding how do these pieces that we know that are important, what are the different components within each of those that strengthen them as a reader. So that way, as a teacher, I can go, I understand that my Hegarty instruction is important. Do I need to lean more into this and spend more time with an individual student, small group, whole group? Or do I need to shift it to the next phase of after phonemic awareness? How am I doing of connecting that phonemic awareness to phonics and being able to understand where are those different pieces that students may struggle or excel in and have that knowledge to go, I know what to do next. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We're
it
applying,
does.
like
And
I love that Letters has foundations, things in the background of the sample teachers that they use, so.
So I just want to give a shout out to our Title I buildings because I think you guys are innovating. I think you're the tip of the spear for just really deepening our understanding of how students learn to read and then ultimately tweaking our execution to get that 95% I read passage rate in third grade in 2027. So I recognize these title schools for their hard work and for all the sources of innovation and passion that you all bring. Really excited for your schools, for all of our schools, because it's going to benefit everybody. Yeah, thanks.
Board members, any other questions or comments? Well, thank you, Dr. Short, Mr. Towner, Betsy, Madison, Julie. Greatly appreciate it. Awesome presentation. There's no doubt, I want to echo what Claire said, leaders like you in our Title I schools has taken us to new heights, and your efforts greatly appreciated. Thank you. All right, moving on to our business action items for the evening. Dr. Thacker.
Thank you, Vice President McCullough and Board of Trustees. Negotiations between the Penn-Harris-Madison Teachers Association, the PHMTA, and the Penn-Harris-Madison School Corporation took place during the month of September 2023. A tentative agreement was reached on Tuesday, September 19th, 2023, and the PHMTA membership ratified the agreement on Tuesday, September 26th, 2023. I would just like to say a big thank you for the outstanding leadership of President Lisa Langfeld of the PHMTA and the bargaining team. How about a round of applause for that group? And now to present the details of the new agreement is our outstanding Director of Human Resources, Dr. Lisa Soto-Kyle.
Thank you, Dr. Thacker. Vice President and members of the school board, I'd like to also thank you for this opportunity to share further about our collective bargaining agreement and echo Dr. Thacker's sentiments with regard to appreciation for our teachers. We are very fortunate to be amongst instructional leaders and their professionalism and dedication does not go unnoticed. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank President Lisa Langfeld, again, the bargaining team, the administrative bargaining team for their hard work and dedication toward this proposed agreement. We did have bargaining sessions September 18th, September 19th. In addition, we did have a summer pre-bargaining session, a previous public hearing, teacher association meeting, an astounding positive vote of teachers, and a special board meeting have all allowed for an opportunity to provide a description of changes and an opportunity for input. We have negotiated a 2-year agreement retroactive from July 1st, 2003 to June 30th, 2025. We've increased the overall teachers' base salaries by approximately 5% this year, 3% next school year. Under this agreement, Penn-Harris-Madison's starting salary for teachers will increase to a very competitive rate of $47,007. The new salary range for Penn-Harris-Madison teachers will be $47,007 to $81,360. The second year range will move from $48,370 to $84,000 to $84,004. All eligible teachers in their first year of teaching will receive a 4.6% increase with $650 retention bonus stipend. Teachers with more than 1 year will receive a 5.1 increase and 2 $650 retention bonus stipends. The second year of the agreement, teachers in their first year will receive a 2.9 increase. Teachers beyond their first year experience will receive 3.1% increase and receive $1 $650 retention stipend. An annual $250 stipend will be paid to eligible teachers who earn 36 credit hours beyond their bachelor's degree or earn their master's degree after the year 2012. There will also be a 2% increase to all athletic and academic extracurricular positions this year and next. Employee contributions for their insurance premium will increase by a marginal 5% during the first year of the agreement. In addition, a 4-tier dental plan through our current dental carrier, Delta Dental, will be offered. We are confident that this agreement will continue to support our talent and acquisition and retention efforts, and our total compensation package will remain amongst the most premier in our area. You heard a thorough explanation of our budget and funding resources earlier this year and are aware of our complete ability to successfully fund our proposed raises. The increased starting salary and raise will further elevate Penn-Harris-Madison and allow us to remain highly competitive in our current market. I appreciate this opportunity to share about our tentative agreement and welcome and appreciate your approval this evening of our collective bargaining agreement. And this is a point where you raise your I'm in paddles. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sotokal. On behalf of the administration, I would like to express my appreciation again to PHMTA President Ms. Lisa Langfeld and the members of her bargaining team for their positive collaborative effort to reach a settlement for our outstanding teachers. And thank you, Dr. Sotokal, for your outstanding leadership.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve the agreement between PHM Teachers Association and the Penn-Harris-Madison School Corporation effective July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2025 as presented?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Those opposed vote nay. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Thank you, Dr. Thacker. Thank you to the members of your negotiating team, Dr. Lisa Sotokal, Dr. Linsky, Dr. Keeley, Dr. Short, Ms. Schmucker, and for all your leadership in the teachers' negotiations. We appreciate the hard work, and especially Ms. Lisa Langfeld, thank you very much for your efforts negotiating PHMTA negotiating team for their hard work as well. Congratulations, and thank you all. All right, moving on to our next business action item, Dr. Thacker.
Thank you, Vice President McCullough, Board of Trustees. The next item was first brought to the board at the September 11th, 2023 board meeting in accordance with policy 9700.01 sponsorships. The administration presents for a second reading the PHM Education Foundation's naming rights campaign request for the Penn High School basketball court to the board for approval. The PHM Education Foundation requests that the board approve the naming rights campaign to add the signage. Al Rhodes Kingsman Court near the basketball court at Penn High School. The naming rights will be effective September 11th, 2023, and will last for 12 years.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the Al Rhodes Kingsman Court naming rights agreement with Penn-Harris-Madison Education Foundation for the sponsorship of the Penn High School basketball court as presented?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Motion, those in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, vote nay. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Thank you, Dr. Thacker. Coach Al Rhodes couldn't be more proud of his legacy, and for at least the next 12 years, we'll have a nice reminder when we have a packed house several nights a week in the winter. All right. Moving on to our next business action item for the evening, I believe our last one, Dr. Thacker.
Thank you, Vice President McCullough and Board of Trustees. Chief Operating Officer Dr. Linsky will share our final business action item tonight with a request for approval of a professional services contract. Dr. Linsky.
Thank you, Dr. Thacker. Good evening, Vice President McCullough, members of the Board of Trustees. Before you this evening, we have a professional services contract with the Client Architects. This is, I wouldn't say the first. There's more coming. This is for L.C. Rogers Elementary School, and it includes revisions in the kindergarten reset and sensory rooms. That work will take place this summer, including hopefully clear and any problems with materials. The total fee for the services is $21,500. It doesn't include environmental testing that may be required or any of the other reimbursable expenses as stipulated in the agreement. Mr. Johnson has reviewed it.
Board members, any questions or comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the contract with I4 Design Architects for Design and Project Management Services at L.C. Rogers Elementary for a total fee of $21,500? Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Those opposed vote nay. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Thank you, Dr. Linsky. And that brings us towards the end. Moving along to item number 15, hearing of the visitors. We do have one pre-registered visitor, Ms. Tracy Coda. Ms. Tracy Coda, before you attend the podium, I'm just going to make a statement. We've heard most of this before. At regular meetings, the public is invited to address the board on general topics under hearing of visitors without registering or pre-registering. At time limit of 3 minutes shall be enforced persons wishing to speak during the hearing of visitors. It is requested that name and address be stated at the beginning of such comments. Individuals may only speak during this section of the agenda once. Personnel issues will not be addressed during open sessions of the board. Concerns about individual employees to the district should be brought to the superintendent or designee. The board will not respond to questions or comments during the hearing of visitors. And I just want to remind everyone tonight who would like to speak, who want to speak on the school board business meeting. We have to take place tonight in one of our outstanding elementary schools. There are children in attendance, although it looks like all have left. But regardless, they're watching online. Please use orderly and appropriate language and volume when addressing the board. I would also like to bring everyone's attention that any specific issues you may not feel comfortable addressing in front of the board, please feel free to email us. We're basically available 24/7. So that's one other route. With that said, Ms. Coda, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Dr. Thacker and board members. My address is on that paper right there. My name is Tracy Coda. What an embarrassing time this must be for some of you board members, especially you, Mr. Ryan McCullough, and President Riley, which he's not here tonight. Mr. McCullough, you recently emailed a parent's place of employment for supposedly posting a threatening meme, laughable at best, while your very own son posted himself and another student pretending they had guns. You, sir, are a disgusting hypocrite. In the very same way you sat,
Yeah,
Can we
there
stop
was
the time?
also a mention of
Ms.
a
Coda,
child.
the language and
language, disgusting, hypocrite.
we're also, you're talking about a student. I think this is
There
something-
is nothing stating that I didn't mention any names. There's nothing stating that I could not mention that.
Okay.
There's no
Mr.
board
Johnson,
rule.
If somebody says your son can we all tell who that person is?
Yes. So you addressed me by name and then you said your son. He's a student.
Okay, so scratch the your son part.
Okay.
The meme is out there. Everybody knows it. So anyway, I'd like to remind you that the stakeholders did not vote for you. Matter of fact, someone on the board is going after Mr. Matt Chaffee that we voted for because he is doing exactly what he should be. We deserve transparency. He gives us that. What are you people afraid of? That's definitely the vibe that you're giving with all the harassment of fellow board members and parents. President Riley allowed one of his campaign donors to post an actual threatening meme during the campaigns. Yet you go after Ben and ban him from all Penn-Harris-Madison properties and virtual meetings because he speaks the truth. I was one of the parents who filed on the open door policy, not allowing us to speak prior to the vote on board president and vice president. Mr. Riley lied in his statement, and they still ruled against you guys. In order for this district to become the best and fix the triangle, we need a board president and a vice president with integrity. The two of you have none and should resign immediately.
Thank you, Ms. Coda. Anyone else that didn't pre-register like to speak?
My name is Brent Curtis, and I have 2 children in the PHM schools. I used to think the problem with this board was indifference. I was wrong. The problem, with a few exceptions and apologies to new board members, is denial. You are in denial that our school system has serious problems. Let me give you a few examples. When a parent is banned from these meetings because the board doesn't like what the parent says, that's a problem. When a parent is banned from picking up his or her children because the board was offended by that parent's comments, that's a problem. When a parent is banned from all school activities because that parent upset someone on the board, that's a problem. When a board member sends an email to a parent's employer in an effort to get that parent reprimanded or terminated, that's a problem. When you hold parents and students to stricter standards than employees, that's a problem. When you allow employees to have social media content, the likes of which would cause a student to be expelled, that's a problem. When classrooms focus more on SEL, CRT, and misaligned genders instead of math, science, and English, that's a problem. When you cater to or try to appease a 1% minority instead of the 99% majority, that's a problem. When the board fails to recognize or refuses to acknowledge these issues, that's a problem. Your position as a board member was not intended to be a position of power. It was intended to be a position of guidance and direction. And the current direction of our school system is alarming. At each meeting, parents bring genuine concerns to you. When you ignore these concerns and take zero action month after month, that's a problem. I implore each of you on this board to ask yourself, are you part of the problem? If not, then what are you doing to be part of the solution?
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Anyone else like to address the board?
Hi, my name is Christy Witt. I live in Granger, right down the road. I first want to say that I don't give anyone in this room permission to reach out to my employer. The security presence here tonight is interesting. Where were they when my children attended Horizon and the last principal's husband showed up in a rage and vandalized the office? My children were on the property, and in fact, it was hidden from us. Now, why is this board so enthusiastic about enforcing social media policies that don't exist as it pertains to private citizens who aren't PHM employees? However, at the same time, employees are clear to violate their own employment conditions that they actually agree to while using social media, as long as the school board approves of the political category, overtone, and message that those employees identify with. How can you be so reluctant to establish a policy to actual employees, but this anxious to silence parents who you disagree with by making up new rules as you go along? If your argument is that a video version of a Matrix meme is an actual threat to the school, then why was the result of the botched police report categorized as non-criminal with no charges being filed? The same people who think a YouTube video is dangerous just took a valuable asset, our police, away from our community to increase fear-mongering and further the divide. If the concern is really safety, then why is the answer to make our community less safe in order to pull off a political stunt? Where is the outrage of actually having kids kicked out of school because they were caught with drugs, and now they're allowed back into the school, playing sports, and do they get drug tested weekly? Anybody care about that? Do our students who have been caught with drugs who left the school get tested weekly? Probably not. Where's the outrage of having kids in our building who have made hit lists, threatened teachers and students? Is the solution just a clear backpack and an escort on and off the bus? Is it PHM's policies to prevent parents' complaints by silencing parents and banning them from school property? You are part of the problem because you allowed divisive rhetoric and fought racism with more racism. You treat certain parents with disgust and contempt while treating others like they walk on water. We see it in your facial expressions, tone, and behavior, meeting after meeting. Not one parent chooses to speak out because they have nothing better to do on a Monday night. Are you now taking the stance that every kid suspended, failing classes, that their parent's employer will be notified? The behavior of many on this board should terrify everyone in this room. No amount of excellence can hide this. Not a $20 million field house, not 25 ways to close the gap on test scores, and certainly not a 98% graduation rate. The school board and administration has chosen to label parents as extremists and hide behind a huge police presence. But when parents are arrested for speaking over their 3 minutes or retaliated with no restraining orders and possible criminal charges, it seems to me that you have more to hide and we are truly living in the matrix.
Thank you, Ms. Witt. Anyone else like to address the board?
Hi, my name's Andy Rutten. I live at 55304 Cedar Trail. Two things I wanted to talk about tonight. There's been several recent incidences of a government entity making a written determination that PHM violated either a state or federal civil law. This violation was done against parents within the school district. I just think this is very concerning. I think it'd be a good idea that anytime a written determination happens against PHM, that the school would promptly issue a written apology to whomever submitted the complaint. Even if there's only a partial determination of fault here, that's still something that should be apologized for. I'm not talking about any kind of negotiations over the details. I'm just saying when a school violates the civil rights, you just need to apologize. And I think also in good faith, this can be retroactive to January 1st of this year, 2023. The other item I want to talk about is, these violations, these are civil rights violations. It raised doubts about PHM's ability to be inclusive. I think it'd be a good idea to re-examine the DEI policy. I've already submitted some suggestions on this a while back, and I hope I can be a part of any conversation on this going forward. So thanks for listening.
Thank you, Andy. Anyone else like to address the board tonight? Ms. Leader, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Matt, for asking to include a discussion on social media policy, since we ended the last board meeting with this particular question from Mrs. Roach. We literally ended the meeting with this question. Are we seeking to govern the private speech of private citizens? Lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, what happens to one of our parents? You guys attempted to govern private speech of a private citizen. So again, I guess we'll end tonight. Are we seeking to govern the private speech of private citizens? Mrs. Roach.
Thank you, Ms. Leader. Anyone else want to address the board this evening?
All right.
All right, we will now move on to board's reports and requests. Do board members have any reports or requests to make at this time? Mr. Chaffee, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Take this mic off. Can everyone hear me? Yeah, awesome. First, I'd like to thank all of the individuals in here, also not in here, any of you that put an effort into setting up this remote board meeting here tonight. As a former student, it's awesome to be back here in this elected position I feel fortunate to be in. So first, want to thank you to all the individuals, especially the staff making this happen to be able to be live streamed. So I want to thank you first and commend you for your efforts. Also to all the parents that spoke, I think there were some valid points brought up. Since I'm constrained to a 10-minute time frame now, I'm not going to get into detail, but all of them I think brought up fair points in their own right. Questions that need to be answered, things that need to be looked in, such as Andy brought up. So would like to echo that. And then moving forward, have a couple questions I would like to ask. First, I'd like to ask Vice President Mr. McCullough why you felt it was appropriate to contact a parent's employer.
Address that with the private matter.
I believe it's a public matter, as
No, I think
there's been news outlets that have spoken about it. I think, I feel it's a public matter.
Okay, well, I choose not to comment.
Okay. Well, seeing that, I would ask our board attorney, a different board attorney here tonight than previous meeting. Did we have any communications with Mr. McCullough? If this is appropriate communications with parents, employers, whether it is appropriate or inappropriate on an individual basis?
You're asking me if I had any communication with Mr. McCullough? No.
Yes.
I did not.
Okay, thank you. And then last but not least, Attorney Rogers is not here tonight, but I have not received my answer going back to last meeting. As an elected official, I believe it is within my right to know who directed Attorney Rogers to individually email me and only me about a month ago. Do you know Attorney Johnson? No. Does any other board member know why I was the only one contacted?
I don't know.
Were you contacted, Board Member Garrett? No. So I was the only board member contacted. Okay. Thank you. I think all of my questions were answered, partially, some weren't answered. I yield the rest of my time.
Any other board members have any announcements or requests?
So I just want to note that Mrs. Sullivan and Mr. McCullough and I had the opportunity to attend a joint conference a few weeks ago from the Indiana Association of School Boards and the Indiana Association of Public School Superintendents. It was the first chance I had to attend the conference. I'm very glad I went. I learned a lot. But one of the most important things that I walked away from was the extraordinary respect that Penn-Harris-Madison holds with school districts across the state. And I want to give you two very specific examples that I think drove it home for me. First was I had the chance to attend a session that was led by Dr. Linsky on facilities planning. So Dr. Linsky was the voice of expertise in this state and how you plan for and budget for and think through the details of facility assessments and then facility growth. So I was really proud to be in that room with you, and I walked away ready to say something not nice to anybody that tried to hire you away from Penn-Harris-Madison, because I think there were a couple superintendents and school board members that were ready to do it. And then the other example was that you couldn't walk around this conference and talk to Dr. Thacker without people interrupting you because he's so well respected, I dare say beloved. I was really stunned at how often it happened. And I think the icing on the cake was, and forgive me, you probably remember her name, I can't, but the woman that won this year's Indiana Superintendent of the Year, Ms. Hess, I kid you not, credited Dr. Jerry Thacker for hiring her and mentoring her, and now she's being awarded superintendent. So anyway, it was just, we all live up here. It's not very often that I'm at state conferences, but I can assure everybody of the tremendous respect for Penn-Harris-Madison and just the amount of school districts across the state that look to us for leadership. So I'm very grateful, and I wanted to share my commendation to the two of you for all of your hard work, and that extends to all of the leadership, all of the teachers, and all the employees of our school system.
Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Anyone else like to request or questions for board or administration? I do have one thing, just kind of update the community. It is fairly public knowledge that I did get a chance to speak on the phone tonight with this evening before coming to Horizon with Mr. Chris Riley. He's in great spirits. He said he's really swollen and he's retained his vision and he's determined to beat this cancer this time around. So hopefully we can get him back in this chair and take some pressure off of me with running these meetings. But I told Chris we all wish him the best. All right, we have a couple announcements. Tuesday, November 7th, 2023 will be a recess day for students and teachers of the Penn-Harris-Madison School Corporation. There is no school due to the election. Students we didn't forget about your fall break coming up, but unfortunately some of the administration and teachers don't get those days off, so we're not going to be as excited as you are. The next regular board meeting of the Penn-Harris-Madison Board of School Trustees will convene on Monday, November 13th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn the October 9, 2023 regular meeting of Penn-Harris-Madison School Board of School Trustees?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Those opposed vote nay. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Meeting is adjourned at 8:45 p.m.